friends, this is Grace and welcome to my channel and welcome to a card video. I'm going to share with you this find that I had purchased at Goodwill a few months back. It's only it's $2.50, and it holds sequins. Well, it holds little things, and I decided that that will be the house for my sequins. So I pulled out all my sequins from their like little baggies and then put them in there, and thankfully they all fit in there. So my goal is that I will use up my sequins just to see if this storage will work for me. And so in the next 3 videos, including this one, I will show you some of the ways that I will add sequins to my cards. Most of these things are not new, but I thought that I would take this time, since I have a new storage, to use up sequins just to kind of see if this specific container will work with the flow that I usually have, or the process that I usually do when I am creating. So what first thing that I really like about the storage is it's clear. Again, I don't know where this is from. I purchased it at Goodwill. I'm sure you can purchase something like this very similar at maybe Hobby Lobby or even at scrapbook.com. And if I find something, I will definitely let you know. The first thing that I want to do is I want to cover up this big numbers and just the number 16. You could do this with any number, but I decided 16 because I do have a daughter that's going to turn 16 in October, and so I thought that I would make this card for her. I will actually do 2 because when I cut out the numbers from my silhouette, of course it creates a negative spot, and I would like to use that negative spot as a shaker card or shaker accent. Initially, I had thought of covering the entire number with a sequence, but let me tell you, it takes time to cover something up, especially if it's a large design like the numbers. And so I'm just deciding to just cover the bottom of it. I would say the bottom third. And then I am using a jewel picker that I had purchased, I think just in Amazon, and it has really helped creating the cards that I will be showing you here. I don't know if I had mentioned it already, but I was able to make 10 cards within this session. So now that I have my card 16, and I will finish that up in a little bit here, let's go move on to card number 2, which is again the negative spot. I just cut out the negative spot and then put some transparency in the back of that, and then added some foam adhesive on the side so that I can contain my sequins. And again, I love the container, how it has the clear aspect of it so that I can see the colors right away. And I also like that I have divided them into, like, I don't want to say by color because some of them are mixed, but I've divided them into smaller parts so that it's easier for me to just grab the ones, specifically the colors that I want. And again, I had added foam adhesive, foam strips to the sides of this particular block, and then I'm going to put that over all of the sequins. Now, some people I know they put the sequins right on the transparency and then turn it over, or put the background paper over that transparency. But for me, it's easier to actually put the sequins on the item that the background piece, because then I can line up this front piece where I want it, and I think it's just better. I did turn that kind of a little bit to its side so it won't be straight, and it has kind of the funky look, which I am going for, especially with kind of a teenager in mind. And I'm just using some scrap pattern paper here. I believe this one is, if I'm not mistaken, Echo Park, or maybe Simple Source. I can't remember. But I also specifically picked these papers because I had a teenager girl in mind. So I know that in the past I would make 10 handmade cards with one homemade kit, and this is kind of a kind of a version of that, not quite the same, but kind of sort of, because I'm making 10 cards and using my stash, but instead of having like a kit, I am just focusing on the sequins. Now, I did add those sequins with some glue adhesive, and so when I turned it over to peel off all of the backside of the foam adhesive, it kind of moved. So that's something that you might want to consider when you are working with some of the sequins and using it or adhering it with some adhesive, liquid adhesive. Now I went with a simple sentiment just because I want the focus to be on the big number and also for the sequence. And so I'm going to do wishing you many more and also time to celebrate. And these are just block stamps that I think this one is from Inspired by Stamping, and I don't know if they're still in business, so I'll have to check that once I put this video up on my channel. But I'm sure you can find some in your own stash, or I'm sure in like Simon Says Stamp or scrapbook.com. So the one thing that I did notice with the sequins, so I made these cards in I made them at different days, because I can't really sit there for a long time because of all of the other duties that I have as a mom and as a wife. And so one thing that I did notice was that some of the sequins weren't sticking, or it didn't stick properly. So that is one thing that I'm going to have to redo. As you can see, this rainbow, it was missing some yellows. So I'm going to have to go back and add those ones. So with this set of cards, I want to do a rainbow. One of the videos that I did was corrupted, and so I lost it, but I was making that card that you see on the right side. And also, I don't know if I want to note my mistake, is I made a mistake. I did that line with the yellow first, and in my mind, I was doing red, but I was actually doing yellow. I hope I'm not the only one that makes mistakes with the rainbow. I constantly do that with my rainbows. Like, I make a mistake of the order of the colors. I don't know why I do that, but I just do. And so since I kind of made a mistake with the order, I didn't realize it until all of those yellows were adhered. I decided to just mix it all up. So instead of like putting the green next to the red, I just switched it up with the purple. And because I used the white positive strips to create my rainbow, I used the negative side to make another shaker card, and that's what I did on the left side. And again, I cut out the piece from the cardstock and then put some transparency on the back, and then added my foam adhesive. Now, if I was being very not intentional, but what's the word I'm looking for? But if I had more time, or if I had more patience, I guess that's what I'm trying to say, is that I probably would have put some really, really thin foam adhesive in between those spaces, so that I can put the sequins like in the strips of the rainbow, but I don't have time for that and kind of lazy doing that. So I just decided to just put the foam adhesive all around the rainbow strips, not including the middle strips there. So, and I am pulling out some, instead of stamping my sentiments, I found this little piece of paper in my scrap pile that had some rainbow connections, like this one, let you be the rainbow something. I'll try to be a rainbow for someone. And then the other one is dream like a unicorn, which the unicorn was printed off in a rainbow style. So that's what I'm going to use as my sentiment for these cards. And that's it. As you can see, it's fairly fast to create these cards, especially when you have all of the elements together. Again, I really have been liking the container that I'm using here. Again, I like it because I can see through it, especially when I am looking for a particular type of sequence. And I also like that they're easy to pull out and put back. I decided to add a little bit more sequins to the card on the left because that empty space on the top right was kind of bugging me. And I have these heart sequins that I don't know where I got it. I'm sorry, but I'm just adding them with some. Again, liquid adhesive for me is the best. I guess if I had some like mini really tiny glue dots, that would be really good too, because then you don't have to deal with the liquid aspect of it. But I really like it. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope that you will catch the other two videos that I have for this series. Until then, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye.